Hello everyone, on the board from Adventures today we have Giant, Wine Merchant and Caravan Guard with the events Save and Training. Looking at the board, my first thoughts was that you can do a lot of things here with an engine type deck. There's Hunting Party and Lab for draw. If you want to go down the route of Highways and Wine Merchants, you can do so. There's Villages for plus actions. There's Giant, you could play that quite frequently, especially with Hunting Party around. And there's Farmland in the top right corner there for a source of extra VP. Also there's Stonemason to help you gain engine parts more quickly and control the end of the game. So there's an engine to be built, most definitely. What you have to decide in the early game here is how influential do you think Familiar will be? So on this 5, I had quite a bit of things to consider. I thought about opening Giant, opening Hunting Party, saving something, opening Stonemason for 2 Caravan Guards. Instead, I opt for Potion, even though my odds of getting 3 Potion on the reshuffle are not that great. My opponent opens a single Hunting Party to my Potion here. They saved a copper, which is why you see 6 on screen there. And they buy a Hunting Party, which is reasonable. Here I save a copper because to save is better than to not to save, and it turns out to be influential. It gets me to Familiar, which I'm quite glad to see. I took a chance and it paid off, so that is good for me. My opponent plays their Hunting Party, cycles through their deck, picks up a silver. So even though I have the Familiar, my opponent is still in a decent position at this point with that Hunting Party and the silver in their deck here. So on this turn they have 5 and opt to save something and to pick up a potion. So they want to go for the familiars now as well. Here on 4 I should have saved, but I forgot about it because I'm just going to buy a silver. I could have saved the estate, bought a silver there. On 4 my opponent picks up another silver, which is fine, is reasonable. Here again I managed to get up to 3 potion, which is good. Fortunate, I get my second familiar down. So quite lucky with the potion so far. The Hunting Party turns up 4 potion for my opponent, and they save and pick up a familiar. On 4 here I am thinking about what to do. I can pick up a silver, I can pick up a Caravan Guard, and Stonemason for 2 Stonemasons. That doesn't seem that good. Instead I opt to save the estate, get it out of the next shuffle, and pick up a silver. My thoughts on this silver here was that, well, you want the extra money to try to get the Stonemason overpay, particularly into 2 5s on this board. 2 Hunting Parties would be lovely to have. Here on 3, instead of a silver, I pick up a Caravan Guard. I want to try to cycle and play my familiars as much as possible. So I'm trying to balance having money to overpay with playing the familiars frequently. The only trashing on the board is through Stonemason, and that really is a bit slow and cumbersome to do so. And often you want to use your Stonemason to trash things other than curses, more expensive things rather. So here I have 6 potion, so I can pick up 2 familiars. Instead I opt to pick up my Hunting Party here. I'm saying I would rather play my 2 familiars more often than have 4 familiars in my deck. My opponent picks up their second familiar here. I play my familiar before the Hunting Party here, so that my Hunting Party has a chance to find the other familiar. This is the whole aim of the game at this point. Cycle your deck so that you can play your familiars as often as possible. Unfortunately, I didn't get around to that second familiar, but I'm able to come up with 6 again, 6 potion again, and again I opt to pick up the Hunting Party over the 2 familiars. Here my opponent plays a couple Hunting Parties and gets their familiar. Comes up with 6, is going to save and buy Hunting Party. So we are pursuing similar strategies at this point in the game. Buy hunting parties and try to junk your opponent as best as you can here. So here with I have 4 potion in total, but I'm not going to buy a familiar because there are only 3 curses left, and I feel like my opponent will be able to give me at least one of the 3 curses, meaning that the third familiar would be quite useless. It wouldn't do anything for me. I would much rather have something like a caravan guard, a village, or a silver even. I pick up the caravan guard here. I think caravan guard will be decent throughout this game. The familiars don't disappear from your deck, so they will trigger a reasonable amount of times, I believe. And a triggered caravan guard is good. You get the free coin at the start of your turn. Here I have 5, pick up a hunting party. I'm going to try to get as many of these as possible. This familiar triggers my caravan guard, so now I have 2 out. Well, I have quite a bit of money on my turn here. My opponent picks up another hunting party. Play a familiar first before the hunting party because I want to draw something so that my hunting party can skip over it perhaps. And it did draw an estate, so I can skip over the estates. Here I end up 1 short of 7. So I just make my usual play of saving and picking up a hunting party. There I saved a curse because I want there to be a curse in my hand so that hunting party can skip over the curses in my deck. At this point the curses are out, and I believe I won the curse split quite handsomely. 7-3 I believe in my favor. What that means is that I have quite a bit of time to build my deck in whichever way I want to. So here I only have 4 coin. But I'm going to make the same play as before, saving the curse that is, and picking up another caravan guard here. Save the curse so that the hunting party can skip over them during while it reveals cards. So I play familiar here and I come up with 5, and I'm going to be able to get this last hunting party. So my opponent had a chance to win the hunting party split 6-4, but luckily we are able to split those at this point. So there are 2 piles going, hunting party and curses, and with stonemason on board you have to be ever vigilant about a 3rd pile evaporating. Here I have quite a good turn, getting a lot of hunting parties into play here, and I opt not to play this familiar. Do not want to trigger the reshuffle with a bunch of junk there, and I finally make it to 7. I have 2 choices here really, to buy training and put the token on hunting party, or as I do here, stonemason overpay for lab and a wine merchant. I want the plus buys to start growing more quickly. My opponent plays a couple with 3 hunting parties, and with 5 here they're going to pick up a wine. Is it a wine merchant? No, they pick up the giant here. My apologies. I play a lab first before the hunting parties, and I eventually draw this hand and I stonemason the potion into 2 villages. I anticipate wanting to play a bit of terminals, namely wine merchants and stonemasons, and I finally managed to get this token from training down on the hunting party, so I should have quite a bit of money for the remainder of this game here. Play my wine merchant for the first time here and come up with 12 and 2 coin. Going to get 2 5s here so that I can liberate the wine merchant. 2 5s are another lab and another wine merchant. My opponent here on 5 will pick up a wine merchant. Play the lab here before the hunting party because I want to have more cards in my hand before I play the hunting party. And 7, it is an easy overpay for 2 5s, which will be 2 labs here. I want more cards in my hand before the hunting party because I want my hunting party to have a better chance of skipping over bad stuff. Also, if I play the lab first, hunting party can now find another lab. So this is the kind of thing that I want hunting party to do. Here I have quite a good turn. I'm starting to thin a bit here. Stonemason gets rid of a curse and another copper. At this point in the game I forgot save, which is bad. It's something I need to be more vigilant about. Here I come up with 14 and 2 buys, so I'll buy a save. And I realize with 14 I can get 4 labs via stonemason and there's only 5 left. So I pick up the province and another lab, and I'm looking now to end the game here. This hand is not so good, but it's fine. I think I'm still in a good enough position to handle whatever my opponent can come up with. They pick up an estate here, just scrambling for points. I save and get enough money in play to liberate that wine merchant there. My opponent picks up a farmland, getting rid of a curse. Again, just scrambling for points. And here is where I have the big turn to finish the game. I managed to play both my wine merchants and I'm able to stonemason this curse away, and with 20 and 3 buys it is an easy double stonemason for the remaining labs and pick up a duchy to win. So this game was largely decided by the curse split, really. So here you see me get rid of the last few labs by a save just to be pedantic and just to get into the habit of doing it, and that's the end of the game. So thanks for